Gabba Gabba, hey Drunken Cock fans, this is Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming from the Drunken Under Quarantine Show, and we're here to announce that you have found and stumbled upon our show. We're very happy to have you. If you found this on podcast platforms, you will be sorely disappointed in the magic entertainment. However, the video will be uploaded to YouTube and Facebook. Remember, this show is an adult show, contains adult content. Have fun, stay safe, stay drunk, stay underwhelming. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I forgot to single screen it. Oh, welcome. Drunken Under Quarantine Show, Season 2, Episode 45, featuring just us hosts. Hopefully Collen will be along shortly. GW's here with me. We got a lot to get into in the main show. We're going to talk about Nikki Sixx calling out Eddie Vedder. We're going to talk about Lindsey Graham and the garbage human being he is. Talk about the Florida Senate bill a little bit, and then in the after show, we're also going to talk about Russian gas. In the after show, we're going to have a little chat about the things in Ukraine that have come to light, and also some very interesting information that was released 75 years before it was supposed to be. So without further ado, let's get to the show, kids.
Show me your tits. This is a weird show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm, of course, Hickory, the Drunken Underwhelming, and welcome back to the Drunken Under Quarantine Show, Season 2, Episode 45, with just us hosts, presented to you by the Woolen Comedy Club. I'm, of course, here with GW. We got a lot to get into on tonight's show. There's been a lot going on. We have a pretty hefty amount in the after show, too, so we might kick over there after about 30 or 45 minutes. And then the big news is I'll be on vacation next week. We still have an awesome show coming out, but we won't be here live. Might be down there in the comments section with you guys. Anyways, without further ado, welcoming to our spotlight stage, my man, little brother, my comrade. Please welcome Mr. GW Foley.
Rolling with the homies. Rolling with the homies. What is up, motherfuckers? It is Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yes, I got the alert on my phone. Bam, there it is. I got a comment the other day of, what does your screen say when you flash it on the phone? It says get a warrant. With Riley versus California. Remember that, folks. Remember that. Police can't search your phone without a warrant unless you give it to them. So, and also don't talk to the cops. That's word life. That's something that you did, which I violated the other day, actually. Last night, blissfully in bed with my wife, we're laying there. She's snoring away like a fucking chainsaw. And I'm sitting there playing video games on my phone. And life is good. Life is great. And then all of a sudden, this maniac starts howling and talking to himself outside our apartment. Where I was like, all right, fine. This will be gone momentarily. As soon as it started, it'll stop. Thinking the guy's going to keep walking and be someone else's problem. But no. Oh, no. What he did was stop in front of my apartment, howled like he's a drunken dog. Like just and kept muttering. I couldn't understand him. He was so shit-faced. Which you would think I'd be fluent and drunk by now, but I'm not. He just started howling, talking incoherently, and I sat there going, I don't want to call the cops. I don't want to call the cops. I don't want to call the cops. And Jess woke up because she heard the howling, and she's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, there's some drunk dude outside our apartment, and I can't see him very well. And she goes to the window, and she's like, call the cops. And I'm like, but everything you've ever told me, everything, don't talk to the cops. So what do? I call the cops. And as we're talking, I called 911, give them my information, tell them where I'm at, tell them what's going on. They put me in touch with Rutland PD, the boys in blue. And the guy asked me what's going on. And he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, this guy's like drunk and rambling in front of my apartment, being very loud, very disrespectful. And I don't think he's having a good time. And at that moment, I was like, I must be a stoner. Yeah, bro, he's not having a good time. I can tell. Like I can tell by the way he's howling at the moon. He is not having a good time, man. And like, so I'm sure the cop was really like intent on like stopping this problem for me. But then hopefully he knew by like my actual address on my street that I was in a good neighborhood and sent cops over. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know. I went back to bed because the guy took off. Like he started walking back down the street. And I'm like, someone else's problem now. Ha ha. Take that. I want to take some of my time on the floor to talk about something that's really been pissing me off lately. And I know I'm stealing a bit from Kevin McTaggart, friend of the show, in the what's pissing you off thing. But it's sovereign citizens. If you don't know what a sovereign citizen is basically someone who went to YouTube school and figured out yes, that Kevin McTaggart.
Yep. Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
I was like, oh, he changed his pronouns. Okay.
Yeah, I got confused there for a minute.
I was wondering about that, and I was just going, my bad. But sovereign citizens are people who feel that the laws and constitution do not apply to them regardless of what state they're in. Now, I can totally sympathize with the idea that the laws don't apply to you. I have been many times and done many illegal things where I'm like, well, it's okay. It may be against the law, but I'm not doing anything wrong. But I've grown up in life, and I realized that the laws apply to me as well. And these people don't see that, and then they get pulled over automatically because they do things of like fucking drive a car without a license plate or without a driver's license or registration. You know, the things that like you need to run a car, the important stuff. And they automatically get pulled over, record it in quote Black's Law Dictionary. Now, to make a long joke shorter, Black Law's Dictionary is just basically definitions, which was printed in the fucking 1800s. It has no bearing on modern statutes and laws that each state has, but they feel like it's the God-given rules of the fucking like sovereign citizen nation. And every single time I watch a video with a sovereign citizen, the same thing happens. They deny, and then their driver's window gets smashed in and they get ripped out of the car. Every single time. I have never seen one concede and be like, well, I guess you're just going to have to arrest me. Here, let me open up my car so you don't damage my property. They're like, no, this is private property. You can't enter without a warrant. And the cop's like, fuck you, I can't. And, and fucking smashes the window open. Now, my thing is, with this, who in their right mind, like, I know I have been brought up on don't talk to the cops, but I will give them my driver's license because it's a courtesy. I will be nice and say, okay, yes, sir, no, sir. I will not sit there and argue with a cop because, quite frankly, I have seen some cops in college. Not exactly the best and brightest. I'm not saying all cops. There are some out there that are really intelligent and do a great job. I applaud their effort. But it's the bad apples that I'm talking about. It where they just just fucking do what they say. Then when you get to court, that's when you get your say.
Yep.
Not in the side of the road. Because they're gonna win. Every single time. Let that be a lesson. The cops win. They have guns. You may have a gun, but they got more guns. And they got bulletproof vests. What do you got? A fucking measly 22 that like you slide into your underwear to make your cock look big? Yeah, think about that. While you're reaching for your fucking penis gun, they're gonna shoot you with their 45. Yeah, so there's that. The other thing that I want to say is there's a guy out of Nevada, and his name is Ken Bandino. He's been on trial for extortion and posing as an officer of the court, and he was found guilty today. And I want to say thank the fucking Nevada court system for finding this fucker guilty. Here's the thing. I have been invested in this forever because my wife is invested in it. She loves this guy because he's very litigious and will file motions and do all this stuff in court because this is what he does. Like, Hickory and I are entertainers. This is what we do. So this takes up the majority of our time. This guy, his time is taking up with going to court.
Crazy.
And I'm so happy that this court is coming to an end and he was found guilty. Just because I don't like the guy. Not because of anything he did, but he's just fucking annoying. And I can't wait for my wife to get hooked on something else. That's the only reason. On that note, let's turn it over to Hickory, the reason why we're all here, and see what he has planned.
Okay, not magic. I'm on vacation, motherfuckers. I'm taking it easy tonight. We got here in the comics. Kevin said, "Go fuck yourself." I think that was during the when we were questioning if he may have changed his pronouns. That was there. Oh, Jake, a like down in the comments. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Sean said, "I hate to have an opposing view with you, GW, but every law below the Constitution is a lawmaker's attempt to control the populace for the benefit of the lawmaker." That's I don't know. It's hard for me to argue with. Oh, Jessica in the comments says, "Love you, GW."
Yes, she has heard the ranting. I'm trying to work that into a better bit, make it a little tighter. That's why I love this show, because I get to try things out.
Yeah, test it. It's like an open mic sometimes. In the comments over on YouTube, gaming with Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy, what up? Good to see you, brother. I hope all is well. He said, "What up, guys?" And he also said, "Your views on Ukraine ready compromise with Russia." Is that the most breaking news? Or are they talking about... I know there was peace treaty work or some type of meeting happening. I hadn't heard anything had come out of that. We will get into that in the late show for sure. not too much here. Yeah, I don't know. Let us know what you meant, Sleepy. Is there like a new treaty on the table that they're discussing? Jessica said, "Hey, a conflict theorists." I'm not sure what she's referencing. Did you know?
I don't want to misquote her.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully she sees this and goes, when I ask, what exactly is a conflict theorist?
Okay. Hopefully she'll give an answer. But yeah, fortunately or unfortunately, I am not doing any magic. I'm on vacation. This is the first day of vacation. I drive out early tomorrow morning. I'm going to the great freedom land known as Florida. I've never been there. I'm a Northeast boy. I'm ready to go experience some warm weather, but it was very beautiful. I'm looking forward to celebrating my birthday and St. Patty's Day away from home, which has been very stressful, and I might say this might be my last vacation. The stress of getting ready for a 1 week vacation is fucking stressful. I will say that my 4-year-old niece painted me this very, very beautiful little painting for my birthday, which I was pretty stoked on.
Oh,
It's cool. Hey, she's already a better artist than I. That's how I'm not very good with the drawing art. I can make things appear and vanish, and apparently I can make music occasionally. Gaming. Sleepy said, "Yeah, India is playing middleman right now between the two nations. Let's see if Putin accepts it." Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, I have a hard time imagining he will. Believe me, that would be the best. The best solution is everybody like stands down, and I don't imagine. Just said in reference to idea laws created by those with power to control population. Idea laws, like an ideal
To
law.
the idea laws
okay.
are created. They're
Oh, okay. Conflict theorist in reference to the ideas that created.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
So Sean would be a conflict theorist.
Yes.
I get that.
Sleepy said, by the way, Kristen's dropping a new track today. Savage Guy will drop its English subvid within 2 or 3 hours of its release. Oh, man, that's rough because I am right after this show. I'm literally going to bed so I can get up early to drive, and I won't be getting to it for a week and a half. I might have to do that real quick after the show. Check it out. I hope it's up. We'll see. Although you're saying today, which I don't know how the time difference works between India and us. They're probably ahead.
I think they're over
behind.
12 hours ahead.
Okay. So who knows? Maybe it'll be up by the end of the show and I'll get to it. But if not, there's going to be a long wait for that one to go up. I have been taking some time to pre-record and get ready before I go so I can, there'll be constant content coming up on the channel. Just none of it's going to be all that fresh. Although I do know right when I get back, there'll be another Easy Mill drop and apparently now a Krishna song that will be like the first two. So 7 hours. I'll already be on the road. Unfortunately. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a beach reaction. Not really. I'm not taking my setup. So I'm sorry, Sleepy. I don't mean to let you down, brother. But that one's not going to be up on the channel for like a week or two. Which is a bummer because that's a good... Those videos do really well. Jessica said, I teach judicial process.
She does.
It's some... There's a lot there. Nick said 4:35 in Woodstock today. Yes, we will be getting into that soon too. But without further ado, G-Dubs, you ready for that jarring part?
Let's do it.
Go. Nope, it didn't go. Excellent. Okay, let's see. Yeah, 4:35 in Woodstock. Yeah, I paid $4.19 yesterday. Kevin said, "What's pissing you off Wednesday? Available everywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube." Yes, thank you. I wish more of my friends would do this. Even if you just show up to leave a comment, I will read it, and we will plug away. Sleepy said, "No worries. You can check it later." Yes, I will be. The hard part is I'm gonna want to listen to it while I'm on vacation. Then my reaction won't be genuine. That's the hard part. Is I'm gonna want to like sneak watch it and then pretend I didn't see it. but I try not to do that. I'd like to do my reactions like just very fresh. Sean said, injustice is done to one man anywhere is an injustice done to every man everywhere. Yeah. Nick said 387 in Massachusetts today. Which are actually cheaper down there. On Sean's point, I wanted to call attention, and we're not going to talk about this officially because it's like a lot of it was way over my head. But I don't know if you, G-Dubs, did you see anything about the Tom McDonald situation?
With Billboard?
With Billboard fucking him?
I saw his video that he released yesterday.
Okay. Yep.
And I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, oh yeah, we have it all set up for independent artists, even though we're not going to trust you as an independent artist because you're not on one of our friends' labels. And yeah, it's a shitty situation. Anybody who doesn't know, Tom McDonald, Adam Calhoun released an album jointly, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It's called The Brave. They released a physical copy because that's Tom's usual thing. He'll take like 2 to 3 songs off his album, make videos. Those will be the singles for YouTube. Those are the only songs that go up on YouTube. The rest gets released in like a physical album, a CD still that they mail to you. And Adam does primarily digital downloads because that's what 99% of modern artists do. And so they kind of split the difference and did both. And Billboard will not count the physical sales because they were like, this is unbelievable. You sold too many copies for an independent artist. And he's like, well, yeah, that's what we do. Like, he even offered to open up the back end of the website to the data collection company that collects the data for Billboard. And they were unwilling to look at it.
Well, in the defense of the data collection company, and mind you, this is a small defense. The liability of going in there.
Oh, no, that's true. But I have heard from other artists that they have done that. So it's not which is sketchy because even if I was up for it, I wouldn't let Billboard into the back end of my website.
Yeah, if something screwed up, Tom could sue them for
lots of money, especially because they were looking at the stuff directly to do with sales.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were just looking at, blog posts like it would have been. Sean said they trust every single one of the numbers. They're just reluctant to acknowledge them. Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Well, that's that's the overall point, but there's so much more to it than just trusting his numbers. Like,
yeah,
Yep. He's being fucked. He's being fucked hardcore, and this is coming from a dude who is I'm not gonna say I don't like his music, but not necessarily my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but like, yeah, the dude's getting fucked.
Yep. Yeah, and the fact that it's happening to Adam too, and both guys have had Billboard charters. You know what I mean? It's not like this was like the first time that like there. It was the first time, and like Tom's got a shit ton of Billboard posters from different singles and releases he's done, from being at the top of the iTunes chart to being #1 on YouTube views for music and shit, and like actually competing with big label names. He edged out Adele for a little while on charts. Sean said, just look at Brad at 5 times August. He should be at the top of the chart, but has been muzzled since he started this. Yeah, 100% agreed. And Brad's done some really cool stuff lately. It's really cool to have him as part of the Drunken Under Quarantine show lore. I appreciate that. But we're going to move right into the first topic of the evening. How the drunk is this news? Nikki Sixx calls out Eddie Vedder. But really, who isn't a rich hypocrite once they hit the top of the charts? Yeah, we got this article from Metal Sucks, which I'm not super familiar with because I don't really read much metal news, I must admit. But they said, Nikki Sixx calls out Eddie Vedder for being a rich hypocrite. Quote, he lives in a mansion in a gated community. At least I'm being honest, unquote. Said last month, Pearl Jam frontman Eddie Vedder did a New York Times interview in which he trashed Motley Crue for being gross and misogynistic. This led Crue's own Nikki Sixx to call Pearl Jam boring. which inspired Vedder to insult Tommy Lee's drum kit for doing cool stuff. Now, in a new interview, Six has elaborated, saying his beef is mainly because he thinks that Eddie Vedder is a typical rich rock star who acts like an ultra-chill 90s grunge dude. In a recent interview with Brazilian entrepreneur Paulo Barron, and music critics Regis To-Do, Six was asked about his feuding with Vedder. Six immediately made it clear he isn't against grunge, and then he actually championed the genre back in the day. He said, "I remember going to MTV and with Nevermind before going out with Nirvana, and me and Tommy were there, and we were told to see the band and what bands were coming up. I remember having the cassette tape. I think they were demos or early Rage Against the Machine recordings, and I remember telling everyone about that. We were never afraid to embrace the changes of the song, because that's the idea behind the song. If you listen to Too Fast for Love and then listen to The Dirt, it feels like the same band that grew up, so we never had a problem with that." So why did Eddie Vedder get called out? Because he threw the first punch, and according to Nikki, the guy's a douche. That was pretty good. The thing is, if you want to badmouth my band, I'm probably going to say something in return. What I don't understand is why the guy is talking about my band. He's a successful guy. Let's face it, guy flies private jets. He lives in a mansion in a gated community. He sells out stadiums. He dresses up pretending to be a guy in the 90s. Don't talk bad about my band, man. At least I'm being honest. Here's what we'll say. Nikki Sixx is being honest. Eddie Vedder is a massive rock star, and just because the songs are soulfully crooned examinations of the dimly lit corners of the soul, and Motley Crue's are about cocaine boobs, doesn't mean he has that much more earnest than Sixx and company. It's easy to make fun of a dude with poofy hair and a soul patch, but that pork pie hat has a cosplay element to it. Check out the full interview, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that does have a very cosplay. Like, Eddie Vedder definitely looks like he's cosplaying a little bit. They both do, to be honest.
Yeah. I will say Nikki Sixx looks like a fucking parody of what a fucking rehabbed bassist from a hair metal band should look like.
Yeah, that's what
I don't even know if that hair is real.
I would imagine not. You know, just pulling a guess out of thin air, and I don't want to get sued by Nikki Sixx, but then again, I don't really feel like he sued me. He'd just call me a fun name, and then we could have our own little back and forth.
Which should be great, because it'd be great publicity for the show.
Yes, it would be absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I thought that was funny. I love it when artists call out other artists, especially when they're fucking on point about it.
And this will piss off Kevin McTaggart, but I especially love it when they call out Eddie Vedder. He has sounded exactly the same from the 90s, not in a good way.
It reminds me of back in, like, what was it, like 2009 when AC/DC came out with a new album. Do you remember that?
Yes, Black Ice.
Yeah. And Jake and I listened to it while we were on our way down to Boston to go see, who were we seeing? I think we saw King's X and the Porcupine Tree at the House of Blues, which was, I think, the Avalon still then? I can't remember. But we went down to see that show, and Jake was like, "Oh, I got the new AC/DC album. I figured we could listen to it together," because we were friends that made a lot of music together back in the day and have started to again now, which is really fun. But he threw it on, and after like 2 or 3 songs, there was like Rock and Roll Train and Rockin' and blah, 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 and a rock here. Like, all those songs had rock in the name. And he's like, "Hickory, what do you think?" And I looked over at him and I was like, "This sounds like AC/DC have been listening to nothing but AC/DC for the last 30 years. It sounds like they only listen to their own music and then wrote an album. Because this sounds exactly like every single AC/DC song that's ever been released. It has the same burr sounds to it. Like, it has the same guitar rhythms. It has the same vocal patterns. Like, everything about it I was like, this sounds like these guys did nothing." And that's how I feel about Pearl Jam.
That's how I feel about fucking Slayer as well.
Oh, yeah. No, that's...
Henry Rollins does this bit where it's like every time Slayer they're frozen in ice, and every single time they come out with a new album, they defrost, do an album, and then put them on ice again. And, where like nothing changes.
Yep. They're the opposite of Guar.
Yes.
Like, Guar, like, every album is radically different and has a different sound and a different feel and a different theme. Whether it, like going from like thrash to technical metal to like, just very genre. I mean, it's all metal. Don't get me wrong, and a little bit of punk, but like it's different. Whereas when you listen to some other bands, they're just like the same fucking note over and over.
And that can be good at times.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody goes and watches Jimmy Buffett to see him do his experimental jazz stuff. They're there to see him talk about being on a beach and getting drunk
and eating a cheeseburger in paradise.
Yes, which there's nothing wrong with that, my friends.
Yeah.
No matter what the far left radical agenda tells you, there's nothing wrong with eating cheeseburgers.
And remember how good cheeseburgers are when they're gone. And we can't eat them anymore because the Green New Deal passed.
Yeah, we're making bug burgers, and you're like trying to figure out the right ratio of roaches to crickets to get the flavor right.
Well, here's the thing that, and this is extremely off topic, but wait until fucking wheat prices go up and the price of flour goes up, where we're gonna have to start using bugs for burger buns.
It's possible. So now that we've thoroughly offended Mr. McTaggart, let's talk about something we could probably agree with us on. Let's talk about how Lindsey Graham is a neocon piece of absolute garbage.
Yes.
I don't.
Hold
like
on, I need
guy.
a new beer for this.
Yes, please do. So we got this article. This is from the New York Post. Boom. Why Twitter won't remove Lindsey Graham's tweet about assassinating Putin. Yes, just when you thought there was plenty of American politicians weighing in on the Russia-Ukraine crisis as being stupid as shit, and just looking to have Russia have a reason to be like, look, these guys are trying to kill me. This is a war now. Like like this neocon, neo-lib bullshit. Lindsay tweeted, or Lady Graham, as the left like to call him, which is, I never got that. I don't
Lady
get that.
Graham?
Yeah, have you heard that?
No.
Oh, I've seen it on like referenced by leftists when they refer to him because I don't know, some joke about him like being a closeted gay dude who dresses up in women's clothes. I don't think they think that he's trans. They think he's just a cross-dresser who's into dudes, and they call him.
So
Lady
they
Graham.
think he's a transvestite compared to transgender.
Yes. But anyways, yeah, they call him that, which always like makes my brain feel weird because I'm like, wait a minute.
That seems hypocritical.
Yes, that seems like something a right-wing guy would say, and you trash him for being disrespectful to the LGBTQ community. Anyways, what Lindsey Graham tweeted was, is there a Brutus in Russia? Is there a more successful Colonel Stauffenberg in the Russian military? The only way this thing ends is for somebody in Russia to take this guy out. You'd be in your country and the world a great service. And not only did he tweet this shit, where it's public and it stays up there forever, because friends, just because you delete something on Twitter doesn't mean that it's not there. People archive shit all the time.
Screenshots,
especially they archive tweets when they see that a high-level politician, and I don't care what your opinion is on Lindsey Graham, he's been in Congress for a decade plus. He's a fairly powerful U.S. politician. I'm not going to say he's top level elite guy, but like enough that I felt like if I was if I was the president or dictator, when we still call Putin a president for some reason, just like we still call Xi Jinping a president. Silly. If I was a high level leader like Putin and I saw a fucking very large member of the U.S. personally call for I'd be like, okay, yep, we're gonna escalate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like something that, like, my God, really? You're not like, this isn't like your fucking first term in Congress, bro. Like, this isn't like you like gathering taking in your surroundings and figuring out where you should position yourself. Like, you are seasoned at scumbaggery. and hanging out in DC making a paycheck off your constituents. Just mind-boggling that he was just like so unself-aware. That not only did he tweet this, he then went on Fox News to reiterate it. To which even the fucking crackpots at Fox News were like, I don't know if you should be doing this. Yeah. I'm like, there's no logical sense to provoke a dictator who's 70 years old, who the media is now reporting is on the verge of dying, because that's what they do when anybody they don't like is doing something. I mean, we did that with Castro. We did that with Saddam. We did that with remember what was the guy in the cave?
Bin Laden.
Yeah, remember he was living in a cave but simultaneously on dialysis.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
well, here's
this
the
is
thing.
like the media's thing.
Like Putin's probably in better health than you and I combined.
Probably. I mean, he's ex-KGB. He could kill both of us like without much effort if we were stuck in a room with him.
I'd be shitting myself.
Yeah, he's one of the world leaders I'd actually be like mildly intimidated, and not just because of the fact that he owns a military that's like what 40, 50, 60% of NATO. Like it's like what Russia has. They're like that big.
Yeah.
No, like the fact that he with his bare hands could kill me pretty easily is intimidating, especially at 7 years old.
I was listening to a YouTube video last night. Yeah, doesn't matter. Where an interviewer was asking Putin about how Bush said that he was a killer. Obama said he was a killer. Trump said he was a killer, and Biden said he was a killer. And they're like, "How do you feel about that?" And he's like, "They can say whatever they want to say about me." And it was just like, yeah, he's killed people.
Oh yeah, would have had to, I think. But absolutely mind-boggling that's the good lord. Like the fact that a sitting U.S. and like what would happen if we lived in a responsible U.S. where like politicians were honest and weren't just like out there trying to fundraise or become like popular on social media. Well, he would have resigned. Like he would have been like, well guys, I almost got us bombed. Let me back off. Let me step down. I misspoke. Mr.
Here's
Putin, I'm sorry. I will give you a slow, soft hand job while looking you in the eyes if you'd like. I really do apologize.
Here's the problem. Is Lindsey Graham? I almost called him Hillary. Lindsey Graham.
Same party.
Yeah.
They're all neo garbage.
Lindsey Graham is being honest when he says that. Is it the right type of honest? No. This is the point when like politicians should lie and not let shit out.
Yes, because it's one of those things where it's like everybody thought it, and it's something that I might have even said at one point. But like, I'm also not a U.S. senator.
Yeah.
I have no political power other than my vote, which I guess kind of matters. But I live in Vermont, so I already know how elections go. Like, it's not like my vote for Trump in 2020 changed anything. And I knew it wouldn't. I was just like, well, I might as well.
Especially voting in Vermont.
Yeah, it just doesn't even matter. It's literally a fluke that we have a Republican governor. And even then, he's pretty goddamn rhino-y. Correction, very rhino-y. But he's a Vermont Republican. That's what Vermont Republicans are. They're Democrats who don't believe in as much gun control. That's what a Vermont Republican is. It's like that's my take on it. That's the only reason he's in office, really.
Yeah,
it's because Sue Minter was winning against him with her Bloomberg style banning everything platform, and then the cuck turned around a year and a half later and banned magazines over 10 rounds. It was like, out of our tri-state, the Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, we have the most restrictive gun laws now.
And I think it's bullshit.
Yep. Yep. I think I'm still of the opinion that we should be allowed to own anything the government owns. And if that means you don't want people having nukes, neither should the government.
Well, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that if you don't think I should be allowed to own a nuclear bomb, why are governments? I would probably, I don't know. There's a weird line in there for me when it comes to like chemical and bioweapons, which I have to really think about. But I don't know, because that also violates other people's rights. So you're in that weird spot where the Second Amendment doesn't quite protect that anymore. And a lot of people like to say that the forefathers couldn't have seen what type of weaponry we would have had, but also remind you we had private ships that would blow up cities back then, so they knew that single people had the ability to cause massive damage, and they still wrote that law exactly how it was written.
You can say the same thing about the internet then, like and 1A stuff. Freedom of speech, where they couldn't foresee the fact that we're on an interconnected web of like shit. We have fucking people across the country watching us right now, and across the world if Sleepy's still here.
Yeah, and any place that has tried to actually follow the First Amendment as their rules for speech get banned from everything. Like that's Gab's policy. Gab's policy is they're the only goddamn platform on the planet whose rule set is basically the First Amendment, with the exception of like two things: porn, because that's not even actually a technicality, because porn is not protected speech, and doxing. They don't allow doxing. That's like the only thing that's technically legal that they don't allow on their website. And it's self-moderated, and it's a wonderful website. I saw cute memes about cats on there earlier. But yeah, they're like the only one that's actually doing it right now. But they've also been deplatformed by everybody. They got dehosted. They're not hosted in Apple or Google app stores. They've developed their own hosting, their own payment processors, their own marketplace. They're creating the parallel economy currently, and it's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, they're the people that got told, you know what, you go make your own internet if you don't like ours, and they said, you know what, fuck you guys, we will, and they're doing it. So yeah, shout outs to Andrew Torvis. That guy is based as fuck and knows exactly what he's doing. But we're gonna move right into the next one, where people don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is, well, in all fairness, we could have called it the Don't Say Straight bill, and it'd be just as accurate. And now people are protesting over fake news. Here we have, this is ABC. This is yes. Just like the Drunken Under Quarantine show, much like the Babylon Bee, we are fake news you can trust. This from ABC News, which is actually the most, like one of the articles I felt like it was the most well balanced. Like they weren't really taking a side. They were actually just reporting, which was refreshing, because that's not what you get in most news now. Say the Florida House passes the controversial, quote, "Don't Say Gay" bill. That's pretty much the only part that was like very heavily leaned to one side. But I've also seen that even the people on the right have been referring it to it as that, which made me cringe, because it's like nobody reads these bills. And this one is short, dude. It's 7 pages.
Yeah.
7 pages, and people are pissed off because they didn't read it. They believed whatever the hell CNN told them to believe. Anyways, they say activists say the bill will be dangerous for the well-being of LGBTQ youth. The Parental Rights in Education bill, dubbed the, quote, "Don't Say Gay," unquote, bill by the LGBTQ activists, or dubbed the "Don't Say Straight" bill by the Drunken Under Quarantine show.
Don't say straight.
Yes, don't say straight. It's been passed by the Florida House of Representatives. The bill will limit what classrooms can teach about sexual orientation and gender identity. Under this legislation, these lessons, quote, "may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards." Now, this is any sexual or relationship talk. This is not split up by gender identity, by sexual orientation. It's straight across the board. The bill would also allow parents to sue schools or teachers that engage in these topics, amongst other topics that weren't agreed on by the bill. Which is funny, coming from the same people that keep pushing for gun manufacturers to be able to be sued for something that somebody else does with their product.
Yeah.
Are saying that teachers shouldn't be able to be sued when they teach things that are not even in the agenda or the curriculum. Like, I feel like there's a disconnect here on the liability part. The bill is now on the Senate agenda for February 28th. If the bill is ultimately signed into law, it will go into effect July 1st. This must be an older article because it did pass, I do believe. Ron DeSantis said he supports the bill. That he hasn't explicitly said he'd sign it. Yeah, when was this article from? Oh, February 24th. That might be why it was so fair and balanced. Was that it wasn't right up to the moment where everybody was freaking out. Say LGBTQ activists and advocates slammed the decision, moved legislation forward, saying it'll harm queer youth by shunning representation and inclusion from the classrooms, which raises the question: why should any sexuality be represented to third graders and below?
I don't get it. Like, being a kid is hard enough.
Yeah, like, you know what? I went through like all of elementary school and didn't know who any of my teachers was fucking, and that was perfectly fine by me.
Yeah.
You know, like, and still to this date, even after graduating high school, like, I don't give a shit about any of those teachers' love lives. Like, all I cared about was how well they were teaching, how engaging they were, how interested in the subject they were actually teaching, as opposed to the teacher that was just like, okay, we're gonna read another chapter today, versus the ones that actually cared about like trying to instill a lesson into you about what, you know, what had happened, or what, you know, why this math equation works. Like, and they actually care. I care way more about that than like, well, you interjecting your personal life into my education time.
The only teacher I ever cared about her sexual orientation was my math teacher, Mrs. McGillicuddy, because I had the biggest crush on her.
That's fair.
Yeah, like for 50 years old, she was tight, and I just wanted to do nasty things to her.
I will say I would agree. There was, in my senior year, God, I want to say her name was Ms. Reed, and she was like fresh out of college, like we graduated the previous year, so she was only like 5 or 6 years younger. I was very interested at the time being. But that was it, and that was purely out of a selfish thing that had nothing to do with the actual education itself.
Yeah,
it was me being like, this chick is so hot.
She taught me calculus, like that.
Poetry, which turns out I would have been good at, but I'm lazy, so I didn't really like, you know, do assignments quite right sometimes because I was lazy. They said lawmakers should be supporting LGBTQ students and their families, encouraging schools to be inclusive, not pitting parents against teachers, and erasing the LGBT community from public education. Which I'd like to flip that on its side, because once I read this bill, you guys are going to understand that there's no LGBTQ language in the bill itself. Lawmakers should be supporting straight students and their families and encouraging schools to be inclusive, not pitting parents against teachers and erasing the straight community from public education. Hickory, the Drunk and Underwhelming CEO and executive director of the Drunk and Underwhelming Show project, said in a statement. So it works both ways, and like none of it matters to me. So here we go. We got the actual bill. Pull this up. This is from the PDF from the Florida. Where did I pull this from? flsenate.gov, Session Bill 2022-1557, the Parental Rights in Education Bill. And I pulled up the latest version, which was 3.8, which is the signed, like the one that got voted in. And believe it or not, people, you can still find the actual bills that people are talking about online. And the nice part about this one was that unlike a bill that goes across like the Senate and House nationally, this thing's only 7 pages.
Yeah.
It is not 1,500 pages. There's not a bunch of bullshit hidden in there. It's pretty straightforward. I read it in like 15 minutes, and I could understand it, which is a nice feature I like to see in modern law. But the part that everybody's complaining about is section 3, right here. This was on page what, 4? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 right here. 3. Okay, this is the only part that deals with anything gender related. The rest of it is all pretty much about letting parents, having to inform parents on health decisions, parents being informed of anything that happens as far as medical stuff at school, blah blah blah. Most of it's about transparency. The only thing that used the word gender or sex in this entire bill, section 3, which reads, quote, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties in sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate for developmentally appropriate not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Like, that's the entire section of the bill that people are freaking out about, and I can't say there's anything in there that I disagree with. I feel like grade 3 and below shouldn't be taught anything about what two people or a single asexual person decide to do when they're getting their fuck on. Like, I mean, I'm open to challenges. I think anything below that is a little creepy. I think if you feel like you need to walk into a group of first graders and talk all about how you like getting fucked, you're a weird one. You're not the people that should be teaching children. You're probably the people that should be kept away from them.
Pretty much.
But I don't know. I also I'm also the guy gets called far right once in a while. So
you have so much time in your adult life to hear about other people's sexual preferences and gender identity and those things that I'm not saying they don't matter. They can matter.
Yeah.
But why?
But not to 8-year-olds.
Easily confused. Like, I was confused with cursive. So,
yeah.
So, like, trying to explain to me the difference between pansexual and bisexual to me in first grade would just totally not make sense to me.
Dude, I didn't get heterosexual in first grade. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a baseline, like, I didn't understand. I would say up until, like, it didn't become real until, like, don't get me wrong, I went through, and we talked about this before the show real quick, through sex ed in 4th grade, and then again in 5th, and then whatever. But, like, none of it was, like, anything tangible that I, like, grasped until I was at least in middle school. And even then, it didn't really matter. It wasn't until, like, mid-high school that things were, like, I actually cared.
Yeah.
And that was because I was trying not to offend people by hitting on chicks who didn't like dudes. That was really the only, but...
I just tried not to hit on chicks because I knew they wouldn't be into me.
Yeah, that's fair. I had too much confidence.
I did not. Which I still don't have. Like I try to hit on Jess all the time going, hey, what do you think about this? And, like, try to shoot my shot and, like, being like, this is going to fail miserably.
Yeah. My wife just laughs. She doesn't take it seriously anymore, which is good because I don't take much seriously anymore either. After realizing what type of clown show that we live in right now, like, it's hard to take anything serious. I'm just laughing at everything. Which we'll move right into the last one. This is going to be the last one, the regular show. After this, we're going to cut the show, and we'll be over on Rumble if you want to follow us there, because we got some topics we want to get into.
I need to pause for like 5 seconds.
Okay, you're good. We're going to move over to the after show, because we got some shit we want to talk about that I don't think the mainstream tech platforms would love, such as some stuff going on in Ukraine, as well as some medical information that got dropped this past week. So if you guys want to follow us over there, I do own the title now. I have course at wrong one. Hickory.c or hickory.com. Sorry, rumble.com/c/Hickory TDAU, as well as that's my one on YouTube now. I own that. And I'm pretty sure we are still, we're just almost at 2,000 subs as of earlier today. I'll check that real quick and see, because I'm curious now, and I might have hit it. Are we there? No, we're at 1,998. We're at 1,000. I'm at 1,998 subs.
So close.
But so far away. Anyways, we're gonna move right into the last topic of the main show before we get into overtime over there. But this will be the last one. Biden bans Russian gas amid the highest gas prices ever, if inflation was accounted for. Fun fact: do you know when we had the highest gas prices ever, GW? If you were to account for inflation,
2008.
Yes, sir. Back then, I had to do some math to figure that out because we just barely passed over 2008's national average, but since 2008, we had 7% inflation the past year, as well as a couple other high years in there. So we definitely need at least like another 20 or 30 cents, which I think is right on the way. So don't you guys worry, we're gonna hit the best. It's gonna be, we're gonna have the best damn gas prices America's ever seen, and by best I mean best for the oil companies. This is from autoblog.com. They say official Biden bans Russian oil as U.S. gas prices hit all-time record. New sanctions could make things worse. That they forgot to put was for the U.S., but will punish Russia for Ukraine war. I did fact check this earlier. I don't have it pulled up right now. G-Dubs, would you like to guess what a gallon of gas costs in Russia right now?
In rubles or in
like in U.S. dollars?
I would say $17.
No, shit's like $1.70.
Oh wow!
Because they have a surplus. They're an exportation country who's now not allowed to export some places, and nobody wants to accept their money. And I'm sure you've seen all the other crazy shit that's happened. Sanctions on them. Oh, you there?
Yeah, you were starting to break up.
I'm sure you've seen some of the crazy sanctions the world has put on Russia, right?
Yeah.
They're off SWIFT, so they can't globally trade anymore, which ended OnlyFans for Russia. I actually saw a great tweet the other day that was like, Russia has now been no longer has CNN. They no longer have CNN, Facebook, or TikTok, and the U.S. is actively trying to ban McDonald's and Coca-Cola over there. If these sanctions keep going, the Russians are going to be the most healthy, well-informed, well-adjusted human beings on the planet. And I was like, God damn it, that guy's right. Like, oh man, ban all this shit that's awful for humanity. Let's see what happens. It's like, dude, no, they're going to become a better country. And we're going to keep all that shit. We're only going to keep getting worse. Sean said $1.67 a gallon. That wouldn't surprise me if it changed, if it was down there now. He also said when I started driving, gas was 96 cents a gallon in 1986.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I remember seeing 99-cent gas when I was a young kid. But by the time I started driving, it was already over $1.99.
Well, I remember getting putting like $5 in my car and getting a half a tank.
Yep. Some guy at the corner store down the road from me, I stopped to grab the 4-pack, and I ran into a friend there, and he said that his buddy just spent $130 to fill his truck.
Does not surprise me.
Oh yeah. But yeah, here we got this one. This Biden bans Russian oil as U.S. gas prices at all-time low. New sanctions can make things worse. Price of gallon of unleaded near $7 at a station in Los Angeles. It's $6.95. Special $7.25. Super Plus is $7.55. Holy shit. U.S. President Joe Biden announced Tuesday that the U.S. is targeting a main artery of Russia's economy by banning imports of oil and gas. U.S. drivers are now paying more for gasoline than any other time in history as demand surges and the war in Ukraine threatens global oil supplies. This is President Biden's staff wrote this up for him, saying, "Today I'm announcing that the United States is targeting a main artery of Russia's economy. We are banning all imports of Russian oil and gas." Bold, bold, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
Yeah.
Average pump prices in the U.S. are now $4.17 according to Auto Club AAA. That's up 11 cents since Monday. The government data going back to the 1990s show prices have never been higher than they are now. Though if indexed for inflation, the June 2008 all-time national average gas price of $4.10 would be the equivalent of $5.31 today. If so, in consistent dollars, 2008 remains the peak price. California, the most expensive U.S. state for drivers, prices surged to $5.44 a gallon, but we're approaching $7 in some places near Los Angeles. Record pump prices pose a major challenge for Biden, whose attempt to cap gasoline costs and rein inflation have so far had little impact. That means American households, already slammed by soaring food costs and electricity prices, are getting hit on all sides. Because this, my friends, is not just going up the price of gas. This affects everything.
Yeah.
And what I've seen a lot is, I don't know if you'd seen it. I should have pulled it up, but it didn't. Pete Buttigieg tweeted out, "Well, just get an electric car." Right? That was, and then, I should probably actually pull up the clip of,
Well, that's the fun part is electric cars is they're now trying to get Tesla to shut off all the electric cars that Tesla made in Russia.
and we have very smart people saying things like this. I hope this pulled it up to
European allies are now discussing banning imports of Russian oil. Take that, Putin. We're not going to buy our gas from a war criminal. We're going to buy it from the good guys, Saudi Arabia. But it's going to cost.
Okay, so I think that's the part where he's getting to that I was talking about.
Since the invasion, oil prices have skyrocketed. Today, the average gas price in America hit an all-time record high of over $4 per gallon. Okay, that stings, but a clean conscience is worth $1 or $2.
Okay, first off, GW, do you agree? Is a clean conscience worth $1 or $2?
First off, I want to go back to him making the joke about sorry, I'm echoing.
Oh yeah, I gotta remember that.
Yeah, I about the war like he's right about like the getting the oil from Saudi Arabia, like they're war criminals. Like
like we could literally. The sad part is we could drill all our own. Like we are literally capable if we didn't have an overreaching EPA and a bunch of idiots who think green energy is going to save the planet, even though 80% of our electricity is produced with fossil fuels. Somehow electric cars are going to change that. But idiots like this, just enrages me. Is like these people are the reason that we can't just like drill for oil here. And then we could source it ourselves, and we could cut all of the war criminals off. And just go back to America being the best war criminal. That's really all I really want, G-dubs, is I want the proud old USA flag to be the only terrorist flag that we fly, and America.
No, I agree.
But okay, back to this out of touch old asshole. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm willing to pay. It's important. Right. It's important. I'm willing to pay $4 a gallon. Hell, I'll pay $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla. Right now, people...
That poor, uncomfortable dude who drove down here in an old Chevy, beat up, gets 15 miles to the gallon because it's all he could afford. Because he had to spend most of his money on the suit so he could sit there in front of an oversized upright base. I can't imagine being that poor guy listening to this white privileged heterosexual man talking about how he doesn't care about the price of basic utilities.
I want to say I don't want to pay $15 a gallon for gas.
No, ain't
I
even- my real concern isn't even gas; it's what everything else becomes.
it,
It's
well, heating oil.
Yeah, because like if home heating oil next year is $15 a gallon, well, we're gonna have to move in with other people or move.
Yeah,
like nobody across New England is gonna be able to afford to heat their houses. Then we're gonna have a bunch of empty buildings. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Nick just sent me a video. We'll have to get into that in the after show because I'd hate to pull that up not knowing what it is. Before we get there, though, Sean said, last comment before the show ends for YouTube. The United States is the terroristic war criminal poster child. Yes, we are, sir. Yes, we are, but I'd like to keep it as we're the only ones because I feel better about that. Because then at least I'm on the winning team.
Go America.
Yeah, it's a... Yeah.
I don't say that very often.
No, not much anymore. There was a while where I was definitely proud of what we were doing there for a minute, and then it started going south. But don't worry, guys. Biden's here with MAGA Light, Build Back Better, and or build. What do you say during the State of the Union? Build America back. Build America better. Like he almost said, "Make America Great Again," but he caught himself.
He should have.
It was like
He
diet.
should've.
It was like Diet MAGA, or not even Diet MAGA, because like at least like Diet Coke resembles Coke. It's more like
Diet RC.
yeah, it was like Great Value brand. You know, it was like Joe Biden was rocking out like Great Value MAGA at that speech. He's like, "We're gonna refund the police." I'm like, nobody fucking believes you, Joe. What are you talking about? Everything that you look at or touch or eat has fossil fuels attached to it. It's production or delivery consumption. Yes.
Yeah.
Including that smartphone or computer
Or
you're watching
both.
us on, considering the camera or the microphone in front of me, the keyboard that I'm typing on, down to the headphones I'm wearing, any part of my vehicle.
Have you ever seen the movie Kentucky Fried Movie?
No.
I will lend it. Do you have a DVD player?
I gotta think about it. I think our Xbox finally died, so no. But we need to get a DVD Blu-ray player at some point because I have some old ones. I need a VHS player too.
So long story short, you know the Naked Gun movies, right?
Yes, very familiar.
One of the directors, if not all of the directors, did a movie called Kentucky Fried Movie, which is a bunch of vignettes that they did. And one of the vignettes is I can't remember the name of it, like Silicon Nitrate in You, where it's done like all these old like science films that they teach you in school. And it's like, what's your life without this product? And it's like your bra would disappear, and like you see your boobs just drop,
Yeah.
or your prosthetic leg, and like she loses a leg,
Yeah.
or the safety in your gun, and the gun shoots, and
Yep.
and like it goes through like every product that this chemical is a part of. That's what it's gonna be like without gasoline.
Yep. It's going to be incredible, and everybody's going to be like, "Well, we have electricity." It's like, well, we will until we run out of gas, you idiots. That's 88% produced on like. You think wind turbines are powering the country? Like, oh fuck no, no. Don't be wrong. I'm not opposed to getting there at some point because I hate birds. We can just murder all of those for all the electricity we need. I'm totally cool with that. But,
That hydroelectric plant in Ottawa can only do so much.
That's right. Yeah. And as soon as you see people filling diesel into generators to charge their smart cars or their electric vehicles, like, oh, maybe this wasn't the best trade-off. Maybe we should have been trying to get the electronics out of cars for, I don't know, when that solar flare hits or when that EMP goes off and all of a sudden nothing works.
My dream car is like a 1980s Jeep Grand Wagoneer.
Yeah.
With like some fucking beefy all-terrain tires that I don't have to change and can go anywhere I want.
I hear
No
that.
computer fucking products in it, like just a straight up engine.
Yep, a real car. Like
Yeah.
Back when they were real. Anyways, we're going to leave it there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, check out GW Foley on YouTube. Coming up soon and released next week on the show will be at least the second draft of The Devil's Lettuce, a short film by GW Foley, starring Pierre Vachon and Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming, which we had a great time.
I got the final draft up. It's up.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna wait and do a reaction to that too. Damn it. Okay. So we'll see that after I get back from vacation. And yeah, next week the show will be up. We will not be doing an after show. There'll be no post show over on Rumble next week. It's just gonna be a straight show. We did pre-record it, so we won't be responding to comments, although jokingly throughout the episode. Because I'm going to be on vacation, celebrating my birthday, hanging out with my family, celebrating St. Patty's Day. Sorry, guys. I love you, but once in a while, I got to go do stuff. And I'm kind of bummed. I was kind of looking forward to doing a holiday or a birthday live stream like I did last year, because there was only like one person watching, and I think it was GW. It'd be cool to see if I changed it up and did it again, what that would be like if we had a few more people. Now that I'm almost 2,000 subs at 1998, so please hop on to your wife or significant other's phone and just subscribe them to my channel for me, or for them, because they don't know better. Anyways, that's all we got on this one. This has been episode 45 of the Drunken Under Quarantine Show Season 2, presented by the Woolen Comedy Club, starring just GW and I. It's kind of like one of those special edition quarantine streams, and it's going to be a good one before we go. Anyways, without further ado, that's all I got. Please remember to stay safe, stay drunk, stay underwhelming. Most important in these trying times. I don't know, try to drive less, even though I'm about to drive to Florida and back, because we make smart decisions. But hey, it's still better than flying. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers. GW and Drunk Magician out.
And so I didn't get a chance to take my pants off.